The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present NashCast.
What the is a NashCast?
NashCast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Foltz.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
NashCast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Foltz.
Feeling good, folks. Holy. Do we have a guest for the NashCast fans out there today? I'm fired up about this one. Mikhail Sergachev, buddy. I cannot wait to talk to this guy. A way bigger personality than you could ever imagine. You talked about it earlier. He is so stoic. You talk to him, it's all business. He's so easygoing, but I have a feeling the stories will be flying. So I cannot wait for this one. Two-time Stanley Cup champion. And again, the backbone of the Utah Mammoth, put up 59 points Foltz last season. And I know there's still way more left in the tank.
Yeah, he's one of the heartbeats of this Utah team. And I remember when I first interviewed him, the first couple times I interviewed him in Utah's inaugural season, and I was terrified. He's huge. He's like kind of has this intimidating demeanor, which you want out of your number one defenseman, right?
And he's Russian.
And I'd walk up to him and I'm getting nothing. Like, I'm asking him a question, I'm getting like no read on him. You know what I mean? Some guys are kind of nodding their head as you're asking them something. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah. And he's just whoosh, nothing. And I'm like, this guy hates me. But every time he gives thoughtful and interesting answers. Like, he's a really good interview. One of the leaders of this Mammoth group, had a great year this last season, and it's a great interview that we have with him. Grabbing him after a little morning skate, Nasher. Grabbing him after some training, a little ice session with some of the boys. It's that time of year. They're getting back out there.
Well, I hope he's in a good mood because, it was always exciting when you get back to town. You're all fired up, especially with the moves that the Utah Mammoth have made, right? Getting Lee, getting Trocheck, getting Kosa, who's going to be a big part between the pipes for Utah. But it's exciting because you get to, yuck it up with all the boys in the locker room and have some, look at the training facility they have. Not bad to go there. They got a barber shop in the locker room. I could use a barber.
Yeah.
The hair's getting a little long. I got to get a chin strap for this thing, but
You're growing it. You're growing it.
Growing her out. I want to be a senior Mike Foltz. A gray version of Mike Foltz. So look at that. Hey, it seems to be working for you. Got a new gal.
I don't know. I don't know how
fired up for you.
How do you get it to like come up in the back like that? You just have to keep growing it out. Mine just looks like a freaking lion's mane back here. It's disgusting.
Anyway, I hope Sergey is in a good mood because those skates are tough. They're a grind. They push themselves. They bag skate. So his tongue might be dragging a little bit. He might have a little bit of a furnace face. So hopefully he's ready for story time.
Yeah. So a great conversation with Mikhail Sergachev on deck as we inch closer and closer to the start of NHL training camp. Still about a month away, which is crazy to say. It feels like forever, right?
And there's nothing on TV.
What else is new with you?
Zero. There's nothing on TV.
Oh.
There's no NFL football. There's no hockey. We got to watch baseball. I don't know if you're a baseball fan. I can't do it. I just can't. They get blown out. Well, they play the same team the next 3 days in a row. Like, whoopee. I don't know how you get excited for baseball till the playoffs. I love the playoffs, but my goodness, I need hockey to start in a big way. I'm as excited as anybody. I can't wait to ask him about, those new players, the new additions. This is a guy that came from the Tampa Bay Lightning, 8 seasons with Tampa, won 2 cups, what he thinks and how close Utah is with getting these additions.
Yeah, and also his or one of his new D partners, right? Or a guy who could be his new D partner, Mackenzie Weegar. They played a little bit together last year. What is that going to look like this next year? I want to see that in September and October. And then one of his other buddies on the back end, John Marino, just got signed to a big ticket as well. So there's been some solidification of the D core for the Utah Mammoth, and Sergey is the strongest pillar right in the middle of all of that.
Without a doubt. And you look at Karel Vejmelka and the body of work that he's going to have this year, and the addition of Kosa. I mean, I think that's going to be a big one, and no one appreciates a solid goaltender, a big goaltender, more than the D-man, right? It's the last line of defense, and Kosa is a stud, up-and-coming stud. I've seen this guy play for years in junior. I even followed him a little bit with Grand Rapids in the Detroit Red Wings farm system. I think he played a few games with Detroit, which is shocking to me that he didn't play more. But he's going to play a ton next year for Utah. He's going to give Vejmelka some much-needed rest, which he did not get a lot of in the last 2 years. So you got to ham and egg it sometimes in net. I agree. These goaltenders are so big. They need those rest days.
And Kosa's already here in Utah skating. I mean, how encouraging is that? A new guy to the organization, and they're coming in well ahead of time to get settled and all that, and skating with the guys a month out of training camp to build those relationships.
Yeah, it's big. It's such a fun time of year too, just because, again, like I said, you're so excited. You're back in Utah. The team's going to be great again this year. The division is going to be great this year, but the team is going to take another step forward. So I can't wait for it. Again, I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Mikhail Sergachev. This guy is elite as it gets. I'm still scratching my head how he's not in the top 20 in the National Hockey League for defensemen in the NHL. We watch him on the daily, Foltz. I have him in the top 10, let alone the top 20. So I don't know who's making those picks. I don't hold much water with it. I mean, they don't even have, Wisniewski, who won the Norris Trophy, as the top defenseman, right? So go figure.
Yeah, go figure as well. He plays about half the game. Time on ice, I'm looking it up right now. Mikhail Sergachev, let's see, top 20 in the league in terms of time on ice. He was like top 5 a year ago. Every situation, do it all defenseman for the Utah Mammoth. But let's get to this chat, because
one last thing, Foltz. One last thing before we get to it. I agree with you, because now I'm beating the drum. I mean, how the media picks the Norris Trophy. I know we've talked about this before, but that top 20, you ask any GM where they have Mikhail Sergachev, I guarantee you it's in the top maybe 8 because of all the things that you just touched on. So now send it to the interview, buddy.
Here's the number 1 D-man for the Utah Mammoth, Mikhail Sergachev.
Feeling good, folks. Welcome back to the NashCast, powered by the Utah Mammoth. Put your hands together for our next guest. This is a former 9th overall pick to the Montreal Canadiens back in 2016. He's already played 10 years in the National Hockey League, 8 with the Tampa Bay Lightning, now 2 with your Utah Mammoth. Last season, folks, he put up 59 points from the blue line. Not even a career high, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, and the backbone of the Utah Mammoth, Mikhail Sergachev. Buddy, welcome to the show. How has the summer been? I see you're back in Utah. We got Rocky Balboa Foltz back on the show.
Yeah, let's go. Thanks. Thank you. Summer was great, obviously. It's always great going back home. But coming back here was even better, I think. I missed America and missed Utah. It's great.
Mikhail, give us a little bit of a rundown of your summer, if you don't mind. The playoffs for Utah comes to an end in May. Do you go home for a little bit, right? And then when were you able to come back, and what's it look like right now for you as we record this in the middle of August?
Well, right after the playoffs, we do exit meetings. Then we fly to either New York or Miami just to stay there for like a couple days. Because if we fly direct from Utah to Moscow, it would be Utah, Colorado, Turkey, or Dubai, and it's like it takes 24 hours. So we just go direct to New York, see our friends, go to dinners, enjoy the city, and then we fly back home and stay there for a couple months. We had a wedding, and then we had a charity game back home. I started training there, and a couple of weeks ago I came back. So now I'm here.
Well, speaking of turkey, I could use a hair implant. Maybe we can get a 2-for-1, Foltz, if we hit up turkey. But Sergey, bring us back to just growing up as a kid. I'm not even going to attempt your hometown. I have no idea how you pronounce it in Russia. But what was it like as a kid, dreaming of being a hockey player in the National Hockey League or the KHL? I'm not sure exactly, but your rinks, your coaches, the travel that you guys went through.
Well, I was born in a city called Nizhnekamsk. It's a small hockey town, and the city is built around the factory, oil refinery, chemical stuff. So everybody works there. So you go outside at 1 p.m. you won't see people outside because everybody's on the factory. Hockey was good. We didn't have a lot of defensemen on the team, so I played 35 to 40 minutes a game. Every winter
changed.
I would take my well, now I play 15 minutes less. That sucks.
We'll talk
You
to
gotta
coach.
talk to the coach. Yeah. And every winter I would just take my skates and bring them home and go and skate on the outdoor rink that was right in my school, right by my house, our condo building, I should say. And travel, like we were playing in a tournament, like a hockey season, where we had like 12 teams, I want to say. And some of them were 15 hours away on the bus. And it would be our team and team 2 years older on one bus. So it was kind of insane. We would triple up, and the older guys would just chill, take 3
Pee in a
seats
bottle.
and yeah, man, don't even start. It was insane. The smell, the smell. You didn't want to be in that bus. It was insane, but I only have good memories from it. We had a decent team. We were always like second, third, and then once I turned 13, I want to say, I left and went to Moscow. Played in Moscow for 2 years. Then they sold me to another team. I played juniors in Russia for 1 year, and then left and played in Canada in Windsor. So yeah, that's the way.
So was it in Russia when the NHL kind of first became a dream, or pro hockey, or when was it when you first kind of had the idea, okay, I could be special at this?
Well, I realized that I'm good at hockey when I was 13, when I got invited to that team, because they were building like a super team, all the best players from around Russia. And once I got to that team, there was like a trial, 3 camps throughout the year. You would have to go camp, go back to your team, go to the camp again. And I did it 3 times. I didn't think I was going to make it, but then I made it, and I thought I was going to be like a 4th D pair. They put me on the 1st D pair, and then I realized I was decent. And but I never dreamt of playing in the NHL. My dream was playing in my hometown team, KHL, Nizhnekamsk. I thought I was going to play for them. We would go watch the games, see the players. I thought that was my destiny, to play for them. And but then once I moved to Moscow, I realized, I can do something here. And then I got an agent, and then I got drafted to Windsor, and then I started dreaming about playing the NHL.
What was that conversation like with your parents? Going, hey, I'm going across the pond. I'm going to Canada. I'm going to Windsor. This place called Windsor. I've been to Windsor, so I know. But your parents are looking for it on the map, I'm sure. Where are we sending our son? But what was that conversation like between your parents saying, hey, I'm skipping town?
Well, I think the conversation started between our head coach of the team, of the Russian team in Moscow, and agent and my parents, when they were like, well, the coach was telling my parents and the agent he should go, and the agent was obviously happy that I was going to leave, and then the parents told me, and we started talking about it. I didn't speak English at all, and when the time came, like they asked me, like, are you ready to go? And I was like, sure. I don't know, like it's something new, something strange, different country. I've been to Canada and the US before that, but on a kids tournament. I never thought I was gonna actually move there. And thank God I had a Russian guy with me on the team, and he helped me out. I had good billets. I had a great teacher, English teacher, and everybody else around me, my teammates, were helping me with English, so it was good.
Well, we know that you've been a billet for some of the new Mammoth guys like Dmitry Simashev, Daniil Boo. We'll get to that in a little bit. I know you go back a lot, and you do a lot of great charity work back in Russia. And I saw on your Instagram, is it called, how do you translate it? The Game of the Year? The big showcase game that you had with Ovechkin and Panarin and all these Russian players that were back over there. What was that game and that buildup like this summer?
Well, Panarin started doing it like 5 years ago, and I participated in the game. And then the year I broke my leg, I had nothing to do, so I called Panarin because I thought, I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to make a game like that, invite celebrities, good players, and just make a game and help somebody. And I called him and I started asking him questions, and then I realized, why can't we do it together and make it a bigger show? Because his match, or like a game, was in a smaller arena. He didn't sell tickets. I thought, if all the legends, Russian legends, can play together against KHL legends and good players, why can't we make it like a big thing? And we did. First year we sold tickets in like 2 days, 12,000 tickets. Oh. Then next year we sold same amount of tickets in 7 hours. So, and first year it was a small check that we got for the charity. I think it was like, I want to say it was $70,000, maybe less. Last year it was $130,000, and this year I think it was last year was 400 something. Yeah, and this year was close to 800. So $800,000. We and this year we played at the biggest arena in the world in St. Petersburg. There was 23,000 people, 22,000 people, I want to say. And it's huge, and obviously we had to call Ovechkin to invite him, and when he's in, everybody's in. So
the Godfather.
Exactly. We invited him and started making the game. It's one of the things that I enjoy doing every year, and I learned so much from it, because organizing something as big as that is it takes a lot, and we have a big team. Thanks to them that this match happens every year.
I need one of those phones that ring, because you mentioned celebrities, and I never got the invite, Sergey. Yeah, but sorry, maybe next year. But growing up, you talked about the KHL being maybe a dream for you, but it turned out to be the NHL. Who was your favorite players growing up, and have you ever met them?
Well, it was Ovi always, and I keep saying that and keep talking about Ovi all the time. So it was Ovi, yeah. We, as kids, used to download pictures on our Nokia phones of Ovi, and whoever had the most was the coolest guy on the team. So, Ovi was, an idol for us.
I got to ask you one more, Foltz. Sorry. Alexander Mogilny. I was part of the Vancouver Canucks when he was there, and he was one of the first Russians to ever defect. And I remember a funny story. He was asked one time about Mike Keenan. He was like, "Are you ever scared about Mike Keenan? Didn't he just give it to you?" He's like, "Dude, I defected. I was the first ever player to defect. You think I'm scared of Mike Keenan? I got the KGB after me."
Well, That is true, and that was a crazy story. I read about it, and then I read about Fetisov and Kasatonov and those guys. It's kind of insane. You're defecting. You're in the army. Like it's scary. Back then, it was strict. It's not like right now, but obviously, you could get, it could be trouble if they catch you. So yeah, it was crazy.
Have you ever crossed paths with Mogilny or like a
Yeah, I
Pavel
met him.
Bure?
I met him this summer. Actually, I played hockey with him.
No way.
Yeah, we played together. It was unreal. He's still good, passing, shooting, like he's sick.
Mikhail,
Great guy too.
this question is about you, but also guys like Ovi and some of the other legends who were out there at the charity game. How hard are you guys going out there? Because you see all the photo ops, everything looks chummy, but I think I saw the score was 10-9. Like when the score is getting up there a little bit, you guys have to be trying a little bit harder. You want to beat Artemi's team, I would think.
Well, we started the game by losing 2-0. I was losing my mind on the bench. I'm like, and I was the captain of the team because it was me against Panarin, and I'm losing it. And I see Marchenko turning the puck over 3 times in one shift, and they score. I look at him and I look at the coach. I'm like, bench that guy. Can't be playing. It's insane.
Charity game.
Yeah, and but then we scored, and then in the second period we go down like 8-4. I want to say, I'm almost crying, man. Like I can't. Like this is my team. Like they're just giving up on me. Then I scored a goal, like coast to coast. They kind of let me score a goal, which was more upsetting because I'm like, why would you do that? I know it's a charity game, but like
I'm not a charity case.
Yeah, like come on, we're not helping me, So, and I scored. It was 8-5, and then in the third period we came back. Guys started trying. Ovi scored a goal, and then in the shootout nobody could score. And then Protas Alexei from Washington sealed the deal, and we won the game. It was great.
Unreal. What? So you land in Canada. You're playing for Windsor. You can't speak a lick of English. But what Canadian customs, food, daily habits, maybe that kind of you're like, what is wrong with these people? That's different from Russia.
I don't know. It was a lot of steak, a lot of meat, and I'm like, why are we having steak every other day? Like. I know it's kind of a luxury, to be honest with you. Like I didn't think about it that way back then, but like our billet family was cooking steak every other day, steak, burgers, stuff like that. And I open up a fridge and there's Coke, sparkling water, juices, Kool-Aids. I've never seen anything like it. Like I would open up my fridge back home, and it would be like milk, water, and whatever mom cooked. That's it.
Drinking out of the garden hose for water.
Yeah. No, but like I came in and they have everything. It's like you're going to a grocery store. You open it up and there's everything, like Snicker bars and whatever, Mars. I just got fat right away. I gained like 10 pounds, I swear. Because we're eating steak every day, steak, potatoes, drinking pop and stuff like that, and I just got fat. And then my friend, he's like, dude, you gained some weight? And I'm like, did I? And I didn't step on a scale. I didn't step on a scale for 3 weeks. I step on a scale, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, well, I can't play like this. So I started training and got in shape and played a good season.
Is the weight room, is that as big of an emphasis over in Russia as it is in the US, or maybe it's more so in Russia? I don't know, but when I know you just came from the gym just now. How much is that a part of your training, the weight room, compared to what it was before?
Well, in the summer, I think you have to do it like every day almost, for like 4 or 5 days a week. It also depends like how strong you are. If you're already strong, you just maintain whatever. During the season, it's hard because you're playing every other day. But over in Russia, they do work out and it's heavy. They lift, but they also like sprints and long runs, like 7-mile run, 5-mile run as a team. When I got to like junior hockey in Russia, instead of going to a camp with my junior team, they sent me to camp with the like a AHL team. Like KHL has a second league, VHL is called.
Yeah.
They sent me to camp with those guys, with 30-year-olds. I'm 16. We got to Croatia. The camp was in Croatia. We didn't bring our gear. It was for 2 weeks just to get in shape. And as soon as we landed in Croatia, it was 2 p.m. They were like, okay, go to your rooms, leave your stuff, change, and come outside. I'm like, okay, might do like a little run, warm up, stuff like that. No, we did 10K on the hills. It was, I want to say it was 95 degrees outside. I came in second last because I wasn't ready for it. No, I swear, I don't like running. 10K, man, in the hills, like of Croatia, like no way. So I came in second last, and the coach is yelling at me like, "You came in last, like what happened?" And I'm like, "I'm not last, I'm second last." He's like, "That guy is 35 years old. He can do whatever he wants, not you." And then like I did the camp with them. It was a bagger, obviously. Yeah. And then we fly back to our city, start skating, and I'm like, okay, can I make the team? Maybe I can skip the juniors and play for the second team right away. And they were like, no, you can only start when you're 17, so you have to wait 1 year. I'm like, why would I go to the camp with them then? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's weird. They're all 30, 35, older, stronger. We did some drills that I like, that I have in my bad dreams. It's it was scary, man.
So they brought you just to work you out, basically.
Yeah, just to see what I'm made of. I was made of jelly, I think. It was sickening, man. Like we would wake up in the morning, go do like a 3K run, do pull-ups, push-ups, all that stuff for an hour. Then you have breakfast, and then you have an actual training where you go like either in a gym or on the field. And on the field, you do 400 meters sprint, 16 of those.
What?
After you do like 5 different drills. So you do 5 different drills. Like you push something, you pull something, you do that for like 15, 20 seconds. And then you do a 400-meter sprint. And 16 times like that. Like, can you imagine?
He can't imagine. He does Pilates. That's his workout. He thinks that's working out.
No, like, can you imagine that? And for 2 weeks like that, we had, I think, 1 or 2 days off. It was insane.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So I got to ask you, you go back to the draft. You're 9th overall to the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, I want to know the general manager who got fired for trading you for Drouin. Like, you played 4 games there and get dealt to Tampa. What is going on?
I don't think he got fired because of me. I think it's just overall what they did with the team. Maybe, I don't know. Like I wasn't.
Well, one guy went this way and one guy went that way. So,
well, you never know in this business. You change teams, how the city affects you, how your teammates affect you. It's hard. Like Joe is a good player. He's still a good player. It's just sometimes it doesn't happen the way you want it to happen. And I came in to a really good team in Tampa. We were winning every year, a lot of games, and making it to the playoffs and, and then winning cups. He got to a team that was kind of rebuilding, that's why it's not fair to say, I think, to him. Yeah. And, but yeah, like that was a surprise to me. Like I thought my career path was going to be play 20 years for Montreal Canadiens and play with Shea Weber for first, 5 or 7. And, enjoy it and have fun, live in Montreal. I love the city. Like Montreal is sick. Like it's a great city and they have great fans. And, but then I got traded. I'm like, where am I going? I get to Tampa and I'm like, nice. Very nice. And then I get to play with Cooch, Stammer, and those legends, Pointer, you get to win cups, play with Vasi. You make mistakes, Vasi's there. It's nice. And yeah, won a couple cups. It was a good time. I really cherish those moments, and I appreciate my time there, and I love the city, so it's great.
While you've been here in Utah, I know you've been asked a lot about your time in Tampa, but in exit interviews, you gave yourself a B- for this last season. What were the A seasons that you've had, and were those cup years in Tampa, were those A seasons for you?
No, I don't think I had an A season in my career yet, to be honest with you. Maybe my first one,
I like that.
just because I was 19 years old and playing 15 minutes a game, and I got 40 points. I think I got the max value out of myself in that year. But overall, I don't think I didn't have a really, really good season. Even that season when I got 64 points, I don't think I played my best. So
What was that like going to Tampa and playing with a guy like Victor Hedman? Obviously, the guy won a Norris Trophy. The guy is just an absolute animal. He's elite as elite can get, but just learning from a guy like that.
well, he's got that confidence that he doesn't lose ever. Because he's practicing a lot and training a lot. Like, he puts a lot of work in, and you just learn that from him. Like, he shows up to work every day with a smile. Good guy, really good guy. Like, he's one of my best friends, and he just does what he's asked to do and more. And you really appreciate that from him. And even after he won the Norris, won cups, he's been there. So I really enjoyed my time with him and learned a lot from him. So obviously, I appreciate the guy.
So was it in Montreal? Was it in Tampa where you picked up your affinity for fashion? Because we know that you're the most fashionable guy on the Mammoth. I want to know where you got that love, but I also want to know who is the second most fashionable on Utah, because you're clearly number one.
Well, it's on your list. I'm number one, okay? But I don't have lists. I don't put myself up there.
Okay.
But I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. I mean, we have a lot of guys. Kels, Cools. Who else is there? Sema, obviously, is really good. There was a couple other guys. I just forgot.
Sergachev has had some outfits where he looks a lot like you. Is he just pulling some of yours out of the closet?
When he lived with me, yeah. That's okay. Like, I had some stuff that I wasn't wearing, so I just gave it to him, and it worked out. But my love for fashion, I don't know. Maybe when I got to Windsor, because you go to the store, I was like really fascinated with American Eagle, Abercrombie and Fitch, stuff like that. I was like, this is the best of the best. And I got a lot of stuff from there. Then obviously, looking back now, I realize it's probably, I wouldn't wear it now. It's not for me, for somebody else, but not for me. But back then I thought it was really cool. And back in Russia, we couldn't buy that stuff because we didn't have the stores. So people would like order it from China, and we would wear it and feel cool, and look cool, we thought. So yeah, maybe when I got to Windsor and, I could go to a mall and there was any store that I needed was there. So yeah.
What's the chirp level? I made a living chirping and ripping on guys, especially in the locker room. But what's the chirp level when you see a guy walk in with a pair of jeans and a t-shirt or pajamas? I mean, it looks like, I know they're expensive. Those t-shirts are probably $700 and I can't afford them. But I mean, at least you step up. You kind of, you own it. You own what you wear. I mean, it's very different from what I've seen. But I personally miss the suit days because I felt like I was, kind of going to work, right?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on suits. Like, I wear suits sometimes. They're just different forms. They're not classic suit. Because I've been in the league for 10 years now. It's kind of, I got tired of it, to be honest with you. And those super tight pants, when you're sitting on the bus, it's very uncomfortable. You know that. You know that. So, but, I either wear something super comfy or something that I want to try on. Like, I'm trying different forms and colors. I'm playing with it. I want to see where it takes me. And what I ended up liking the most, and that will be my style. So I'm still playing with it, and me and my stylist. But the chirp level is it's pretty high. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, some fits that I threw in last year were very bold, I would say. And yeah, Kark's always like, he comes into the rink first before the game, and he just sits there with a coffee and waits for me. So, and if I walk in with something crazy on, he'll give it to me right away. And then he'll wait for everybody else to show up, and then he'll tell them what I wore, and then, chirp me again. So I like that. I appreciate that. And I think it's funny. Like, it's great. Like, emotion, like, if people show emotions from my fits, it's great. They can hate it, they can love it, they can chirp me. Like, I'm doing it for me, not for them, obviously. So yeah.
You're more confident with your wardrobe than I am with mine. But my last question, because I know we got to let you go, Mikhail, but my last question is, for the Winter Classic, it's very traditional for teams to show up in some kind of coordinated outfit. Are they talking to you about that as the lead fashion guy for the Mammoth? Are they consulting you on this?
No, I think it's gonna start with Kels. He's the captain.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna, like how we did it in Tampa. I think Stammer just decided with the older group that we're going as Cowboys or something, and we just got in the store and bought some stuff. I think that's gonna start with Kels or GM or president of the club. We'll see. I don't think they're going to be asking me what to wear. I don't think they, they're very, keen on my style. So I don't think they're liking it very much. But I don't care. Yeah, whatever the team is going to do, I'm going to do. So yeah.
All right, I got two for you. My first one is John Cooper. I golf with him all summer long. I remember when the trade happened. He literally, we were all hugging it out with him. He was so upset. He goes, I just lost a redwood on my blue line. That's how I like him. He was one of our best defensemen. He was so upset. But John Cooper, what did he mean to your career in the 8 years you were with Tampa?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the main reasons I am where I am today, and I'm at that level because of him mostly, and other D coaches that we had. But he took me in first year. He saw that I was making a lot of mistakes, and he was working with me and, telling me stories and just spending his time with me. Like, he didn't have to. He had like 24 other guys that he could be talking to, but he was talking to me and, making sure I was okay, making sure I was understanding what was going on. And, just the time he spent with me, I really appreciate it. And, yeah, he was great. Like, he's such a good, like, psychologist. Like, he just gets in your head and says the right thing, and you just, like, it's like pressing the button right here, like, boop. And you just,
you should see him on the golf course. The wittiest, funniest dude. Did that come across in the locker room too?
Yeah. Like, he's kind of like, he comes across as like cocky a little bit too. Like, he's got that swagger to him.
Oh yeah.
And you like, with some people, when they do that, you kind of like look at him and like, what the hell? Like, and at Coop, it kind of suits him, He's like Matthew McConaughey, like,
yes,
kind of that swagger, the way he talks, the way he moves. Like, you just trust in the guy. Like, he's a great coach, but he helped me a lot. So yeah, it was fun working with him.
All right, last question. The additions that you guys made this summer, I know you're back in Utah skating with a few of the boys, but how excited are you now with a guy like Kosa and Trocheck and Lee with those additions and maybe, some holes that you guys were lacking?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with Kosa now. I'm a defenseman, he's a goalie. We talk a lot, and he's good, man. He's good. He's getting even better now on the ice with us. Troch is here too. He tips every puck I shoot, so I like that. I appreciate that. He's got a good stick. He's very strong on the puck, very smart, knows how to like play with his body. He's not the biggest guy, but he's very smart. So, and I can appreciate that about him. So he's gonna help us a lot, and Coast too. And I haven't seen Lee yet, but I'm best friends with Romanov, and he was good friends with Lee, so he told me a lot of stories. Lee is a great guy, and we needed somebody like him.
Well, we're fired up. We can't wait. We appreciate your time. I know you got a big season ahead of you and lots of training left to do before camp kicks off. But welcome to the NashCast. Finally, we get the big boy, the backbone of the Utah Mammoth. Thanks, Sergey.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Foltz, feeling good, brother. After that interview, you betcha. How good is Sergey looking? Rocky Balboa, right from Russia. He's back in Utah. He's skating. He's got the cutoff sleeves on. The guns are showing. Curls for the girls. I think he was doing some curls before he came on the NashCast. So absolutely love the guy. What a personality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could have gone another, 30 minutes, an hour with him easily, too. Asking him about Ovi, about all of the Russian guys over with that big showcase that they have. We didn't even get much into the Utah Mammoth, it felt like. We could have done a whole show just on that, but we wanted to get his background, his story. Such an interesting case, and he comes from such a different place than a lot of us. But always a joy to talk to in the room, and oh yeah, he was fantastic.
I've been to Japan. Never have I been to Russia. I tried when my career was coming to an end to head over there. They were paying big bucks in the KHL, and that was his dream, to play in his hometown team in the KHL. And playing junior in Moscow, lighting it up. His journey, his road that ended up in Canada. The year he had in Canada, I think he put up 57 points as a defenseman in his first year in North America. Like, that's ridiculous. The second year, I think he made the Montreal Canadiens out of training camp and gets sent down after 4 games, wins a Memorial Cup with Windsor, and then goes on to play, 10 years in the National Hockey League. And the beauty of him too, Foltz, is he's only 28. Like, this guy is just hitting his prime. And he talked about that. You asked him about if he's had an A season yet. He's like, no, I haven't had an A season. He's had 64 points. Last year he had 59 with the Utah Mammoth. I mean, what is the ceiling on this guy? I don't know. I think it could be in the 70s.
Oh, no doubt. And one thing we did not get to, Tyson, was he had a major injury right in the middle of, like, he's still in his prime, but right at the start of his prime years, I would say a couple of years ago, he broke both bones in his lower leg. What is that? The tibia and fibula. He fractured and got stretchered off in a game he was playing for Tampa Bay. So it cut his season short. He had to come back from that. And his first season in Utah was his first full season back from that injury. And ever since he's been on the ice as a member of whether it's the Utah Hockey Club or the Utah Mammoth, he's been one of the most important players. You can make an argument the most important player for the Utah Mammoth, with the amount of ice time that he takes up and the amount of the different parts of the game that he touches.
I do not disagree with that statement whatsoever. And I mean, you could feel it from him. He's playing in that charity game. That question you asked about, he's playing with Ovechkin and Panarin, and they're down 2-0, and he's pissed off in a charity game. He's giving it to guys who are turning pucks over. He's telling their coach to sit guys on the bench. I mean, that was one of the best stories of it all. So that's the kind of teammate that you want to play with, right? He reminds me of like maybe a little bit quieter of a Chris Pronger, but don't, like, out of your leaders, you want guys calling guys out. You can never get too comfortable on that bench, on the ice, because guys like Sergachev, guys like Keller, guys that wear letters, that you're going to get called out. And that is an embarrassing thing. It's happened to me in my career. It's not something you want to happen, but I loved everything about this interview. This guy was so full of life and energy and story time with Sergey. His fashion, you talked about his fashion, how Carconi sits there and waits for him. That's the stuff I miss. Honestly, like, I just miss carving guys. Like, I miss going out for dinner. I don't miss playing. I miss the paychecks a little bit, but my God, I just miss busting balls.
Oh, that was the best. But one more thing about his leadership, like he touched on this a little bit with Simashev, but Dmitry Simashev was living with Sergachev this last year. And I think I don't know if it was Thanksgiving. It couldn't have been Thanksgiving. We were on the road. I think it was Christmas where Sergachev had Boot and Simashev, Daniil Boot and Dmitry Simashev over for Christmas and holidays and things like that. So he's kind of shepherding these young Russian prospects in the Utah Mammoth organization and helping them along, helping them adjust to North America, like he had to adjust to North America when he came over and didn't speak any English before he got to Windsor in the OHL. So really cool stuff from Sergey, the way he handles himself on the ice, but off the ice too.
I love it. And I don't think people understand how difficult it is. Like, I can't even imagine going over to Russia and not knowing a word of Russian. And they're all talking, let alone trying to figure out the practice, right? And what the coach is saying and what he's yelling, if he's yelling at you. Or, yeah, exactly. But that fashion story was, yeah, the Russian gas. But it's funny because when I was first starting in the National Hockey League, and more so when I was in the American Hockey League, I think I was making $35,000 Canadian with the Vancouver Canucks playing in Syracuse, New York, when the exchange rate was like $1.50. So I couldn't afford anything. In fact, I delivered pizzas in the off season at Pizza Hut with a fanny pack to make money so I could pay for my training. That's how poor I kind of grew up. But Daryl Sador, and I'm not sure if Sergachev crossed paths with Sador in Tampa. I know Daryl won a cup there as well, so he must have. But Daryl Sador used to give me his hand-me-down suits. And we were the same size, and I would wear these suits. Hugo Boss. I've never seen a Hugo Boss. I'm like, I didn't even know what that was. Like, from Armani, like all these Gucci belts. And like, I would walk in the locker room looking like an NHLer. I felt like $1 million, but I was the only guy who knew that those were hand-me-downs. I was like the homeless guy outside the locker room. But I just love that story. Simashev diving into his closet, representing some of Sergachev's clothes in the walk-ups as they get to the locker room.
Just thank God they don't have walk-ups for broadcasters, you know, especially the radio guys. TV guys might be okay. I've seen Mickey
doing a few of them. I've seen on his Instagram. He's always got the model, the blue steel.
Oh, he knows where he's walking. He knows where the camera is when he comes in. But hey, the radio guys. No, I'm looking like somebody's grandfather dressed for Sunday church or something like that. No, it's a little different when you can't see the broadcast or there's no on camera element. But yeah, thank God they don't have that for me.
Well, Foltz, that was unbelievable. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Hockey is right around the corner, believe it or not. Training camp's going to start kicking off. Twitter's going to start blowing up, all the social media channels. And make sure to follow us, NashCast Official, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and X. So follow along. We got some good stuff coming. We got 6 big shows this season. So cannot wait for that to be announced and figure out when those games are actually going to be streamed on Seg Plus. But I cannot wait to see what this team's all about, buddy. I know you're chomping at the bit.
I'm looking at the countdown clock every day. Countdown clock till October 1st, the first regular season game for Utah. Just waiting for that to tick down. I feel like I'm like Tom Hanks in Castaway, you know, like just carving the days, you know, like
in the door,
the tallies. But we'll get there. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.